Listen close. Don't be afraid. The hand of God is at work. In 1940, John Henry Lewis was born, the son of sharecroppers. While still a boy, he told his mother, sharecropping was just another form of slavery. He knew injustice even then. But to John, injustice was everywhere. Signs that tell you where you could go and where you couldn't. His school was nothing more than a shack. Bodies swung from trees. Police just looked away. John wondered, does freedom exist only in the hereafter? Or could he be free here on earth? Then one night over the radio, John heard a young minister preaching a new gospel and the story of 50,000 people in a bus boycott in Montgomery that used their feet, not their fist, as a weapon of change. John Lewis knew he had to join that movement. God's hand had first guided John to American Baptist Seminary in Nashville. Storms were brewing in the movement, and John, with other students, decided not to stand on the sidelines any longer. The fight for justice began by desegregating lunch counters. John and the others were nonviolent. The opposition was not. Arrested for the first of more than 40 times, John chose jail instead of bail. The Freedom Rides of 1961 set out to end segregation in interstate buses and bus terminals. John Lewis sat on the front seat. He and fellow students, white and black, were beaten bloody. Concerned with the violence against students, ministers didn't want to send them on dangerous missions. John said, if not us, who? If not now, when? Yet every victory meant ever-increasing violence, bombs and attack dogs, fire hoses with pressure that could tear the bark off trees. Courage had a price.
We've gone too far now to turn back, because our nation has a date with destiny.
That date came in Selma, Alabama, 1965, marching for the right to vote, a day that would later be called Bloody Sunday. John and fellow activist Hosea Williams led the march. Two opposing forces of a decade-long struggle came face to face.
It'll be detrimental to your safety to continue this march, and I'm saying that this is an unlawful assembly. You are ordered to disperse, go home, or go to your church.
Police fractured John's skull, but not his spirit. John was ready to die for freedom. That evening, every living room in America saw the disgrace of the day. No longer could the nation hide behind ignorance. It was shameful, the inhumanity, the violence. John Lewis finished that march from Selma to Montgomery. Americans, black and white, walked the 5-day journey. Congress soon passed and President Lyndon Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act. Because of the sacrifice of John and others in the movement, black Americans won the right to vote, and with that, genuine citizenship. Black Americans used their new voice, their vote, changing America forever. During the civil rights years, there were less than 20 black public officials in the South. Today, there's more than 1,000. John Lewis, a son of a sharecropper, was elected to the Congress of the United States and has served our country for nearly 20 years. John's example made him a leader. Recognized as one of the Big Six leaders of the civil rights movement, he earned a place as a keynote speaker in the March on Washington. Ultimately, John Lewis became, as National Journal called him, a rising star of Congress.